at the rest of the week. I still haven't talked to the players about playing time yet. They're just going to be ready to go. We'll let them know the closer we get to game time, kind of what our plan is. So we've talked to a lot of this coaching staff. We're going to kind of play out the next couple of days, see who's available, see who's not available.
Can you at least divulge whether Le'Veon Bell will take a rep?
I haven't talked to him about it yet.
Any update on Leonard?
Yeah, we held him out again today. I think we're being precaution. The precaution with him right now is just we don't want to take any chances of him coming out there and hurting himself even more. He was doing some stuff on the Alter G inside, so I think he'll be all right next week.
Has he had an MRI or anything?
Yeah, they've done all the stuff they need to do. We're just being slow.
Okay.
So it came back clear?
Yeah, he's just kind of sore, and we're just being smart with it.
This, not to sound a little bit like a broken record, but have you had any update on Marcus Maye in terms of he could potentially practice next week or anything?
Yeah, that's something I have no idea. We'll see. We're just waiting for the docs to say, all right, hey, we're good to go, or we got to wait longer. So right now they haven't really given me any indication that he'd practice next week.
Is Quincy going right away now for tests?
Yeah, I think he's going to have something later this afternoon.
On Marcus, is there a point in this camp where you have to have him back before he gets ruled out for week 1? And how much time does he need to ramp up?
Yeah, we'd like to get him back before the season started. Get him out there and make sure that everything's good to go. That's really the thing. We're trying to buy ourselves as much time as possible. And just once he gets out there, we want him to be able to stay out there. And that's why we're listening to the doctors. He's doing everything he can. There's nothing he can do about this. It's a nerve injury. That's what it is.
I know you don't want any players to get hurt, but with Leonard out, Quinnen has gotten some first-team reps that he wasn't getting. Has that been beneficial for him and for you guys to kind of see him going against that first?
Yeah, I think it shows our depth. I think yesterday you kind of saw that, where those guys were missing Leonard and Steve, and all of a sudden it's not much of a drop-off. So that's a good sign for us. Anytime our guys, we can go, our younger guys with the ones and guys that haven't had as much experience in that area, and they can play well and they can make it difficult for our one offense, that's a good sign for us as a team.
Just one more quick note on Quincy. It doesn't sound like I know he's getting more tests, but it doesn't sound like you're overly concerned with it.
Yeah, he was trying to go back in practice. Okay. So, I think we're just making sure that he's okay. So, that's what they have to do. I don't want to make it more alarming than probably what it is.
Can you explain the thought process just on acquiring Alex Lewis?
We're always that's kind of what the personnel departments, that's their job, is to create competition, create depth. I think that's an area or a position where we've talked about it. You guys heard me talk about it. You guys have talked about it, of can't have enough good linemen, can't have enough good competition. And I think the fact that our GM is a former offensive lineman, I'm pretty sure you guys know that he's going to be looking for, those type of guys, his type of lineman, tough, physical, smart, guys that can play multiple positions and play both sides of the line. And I think that's what he's going to be, combing the earth for.
What do you see? He played mostly left guard for them. What other things can he do?
He can play multiple positions. We're talking about a guy that's those. We got guys in our building that have seen him practice day in and day out, so that's helpful for us. And the fact that we feel like we got a guy that can play more in one spot and has actually played in real games, that's big for us.
What do you need to see, Adam, out of the cornerbacks, especially not the starters necessarily, but the backups?
I think it's really, for me, it's executing what's called, because whatever Greg decides to go with, whether it's, hey, we're going to play zone coverage, we're going to play man coverage, we're going to pressure, we've kind of discussed a little bit of what we're looking to do. But whatever he calls is executing what he calls first. But then, how much are we around the ball? How many times are we touching the ball? Are we tackling? Are we getting involved? Are we having ball production, which is, hey, you're tackling, you're intercepting, you're breaking up a pass, getting around the football and being productive in that capacity.
Are you excited, Adam, just kind of to get to the next step here with the preseason games?
One day at a time.
Okay,
yeah, I am. It'll be fun to watch our guys be able to go against somebody else. I know it's not the old school training camp where it gets really monotonous when you're 24 practices in before you actually played a preseason game. What are we, 10, 12, 13 or whatever it is. So, I mean, but it's still the same thing. You want to go against somebody else, different defense, different looks, different bodies. I think it's fun for us as coaches to watch, especially the young guys in these first couple games where they get a ton of playing time, and just seeing how they've developed and seeing who reacts well under the lights.
Is there curiosity, Adam, in terms of how you and Sam will work in a game-like setting?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had to call a game in a with the headphones and all that stuff, with the beeping in, and just kind of see how that works between us. If it's clear and he understands me. I mean, doing it in the walkie-talkie and then doing it in the helmet with it's a little clearer. I mean, I'm expecting it to go well. I mean, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't.
Do you talk just typically, like in Miami? Would you talk all the way up until the thing was
Sometimes. I talk too much sometimes on that. Surprisingly, I bet. But
too early to say if winning can make an impact on this team.
I mean, you think he's gonna make an impact? I mean, he looks pretty good in practice to me. So I'm gonna say, I mean, our guys, our young players that have shown that they're practicing well, I think that those guys can really help us. I mean, we're looking for guys day in and day out to see if they affect practice in a positive way, then they're probably going to help us in games.
Adam, I know you haven't talked to Le'Veon yet about how much he's going to play, but as a coach, when you're making that decision, how do you weigh wanting to get him in a game because he hasn't played in a year, while also you don't want to get him hurt? Because
it's tough. That's why this is not as easy as, like, last year was easy. Frank Gore was a great example. I was like, Frank, you're not playing in the preseason, and he was in my office every day. The third preseason game, and he was like, I am playing. And I'm like, it's hard to argue with Frank Gore in that situation, because he's not listening to what I'm saying. He's just like, I'm playing. Like, I will be dressed, and whether or not you put me in the game will be one thing. So, and we ended up playing him one series, and then he stood next to me for the next two series and says, I'm going back in, and it's maddening with a guy like that wants to play that bad. And it's a fine line with Le'Veon. He hasn't played in a year. At the same time, when's the right time? Is it this game? Is it the next one? Is it the next one? Do we just not play him this preseason? Do we go through the whole time and just give him reps? I mean, all those questions, those are what we keep talking about.
Is Le'Veon the kind of guy that's going to be lobbying you like that from what you've seen of him so far?
When I had the one conversation we had about it, he goes, whatever you tell me you want to do, that's what we'll do. So he's been outstanding in that area.
Does that change once the games actually show up, though?
I mean, I think whatever decision we make heading in this stuff, we'll all be good with, and then we'll do what we need to do, and then we'll move on to the next step.
Hold on one second. We got Rich, Kaj, Andy, and then we'll let one more go.
Did you say two questions, like 5 questions ago?
Good, Rich.
Just your GM's been pretty aggressive with this flurry of moves lately. How's that dynamic working with you? And
I love
you guys
it.
are new to each other.
I mean, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like he's such a good communicator. He either comes down or I'm up there a lot, and he'll say, hey, here's what we're thinking, here, and here's the corresponding move. And that's what these guys, this is what they do for a living, and that's, our job is to coach the players that we have on the roster. And when you have the same vision and you think the same, and you think culture first, and then, a lot of the players, we've been kind of raised the same way, so we see players pretty much the same.
Do you have any connection with Shermer through Michigan State or anything like that?
Yeah, I was with Pat when I was a student assistant.
Okay,
he was a tight ends coach.
Okay.
A long time ago.
So.
Long time ago. So
what's it like now to you guys both be head coaches?
No, I mean,
in
it's.
New York?
I mean, it's random. I mean, it's, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Anytime I've seen him at the combine and stuff like that, just talk for a little bit. But we've both been kind of all over the place, since we left Michigan State.
And going back to the headset thing, when you're talking beyond just giving the play call, what kind of things are you saying up until when?
Just reminders. I might be saying, hey, get to this play. If they do this, if the safety's down, go to this run. If I could be telling them, hey, if the linebacker walks out here, remember it could be two-man, it could be man, it could be pressure, whatever it is. Just little tiny things to try to just get him to go, okay, hey, I'll take a peek out here. Good, okay, I know what this is. So it's just, you try not to give him too much, but at the same time, want to try to give him a little nugget every once in a while just to make sure that he understands why you're calling certain things.
We're going to finish up with our guest Nathan from Australia here.
Thanks very much. Coach, you've got a couple of Aussies in the team now. Could you comment on how Valentine is going along in his practice?
He made a nice play today. I mean, it was good to see him. I mean, he looks like he's feeling better. Starting out with the back kind of slowed him up at the beginning of camp. He's picking up the offense. Hasn't really been his issue. It's just when everything starts moving super fast, he's trying to get used to that, and I think it's starting to work for him. It's slowing down for him, and I think it'll just keep slowing down. I'm excited to see him get a play in some games and just kind of see how he reacts to all that.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.